also explain the ongoing change from tribe to ethnicity as the current trend in our country and our continent. What are the implications of the use of ethnic as the current terminology for the different peoples of the Delta, Niger Delta, and actually in Nigeria? Because the problem in the Delta is just one small of the entire country, where all the different states have different people in different proportions. Like the use of tribe, ethnic is a dated terminology. There's a date, this started post-World War, post-civil rights movement, with its origin in the Western world as always. Glazier and Moynihan, two seminal scholars on this, talked about they talk about the new world and the new experience and so forth. And this is what they say about this. Ethnic is a new word that reflects the new reality. This is a quotation. The new word is ethnicity, and the new usage is a steady expansion of the term ethnic group from minority and marginal subgroups at the edges of society, groups expected to assimilate, to disappear, to continue as survivors, exotic or troublesome to major elements of a society. From the above, it is clear that at its inception, the word ethnic was linked to post-civil rights movements' attention on post-World War shifts in migration systems of a second wave of people from the third world or non-Western, non-European countries to more developed countries in the West. It is not far removed from the unfolding case of this United States at the turn of the 20th century and between the two world wars. At its inception, ethnicity was construed to pertain to just non-white, non-Western people, and used to measure ethnic populations distinct from the core population or populations. And you're going to see this in the way ethnic forces have evolved. Ethnic forces started in the US with looking at only non-Western ethnic minorities. But today, it has extended to include even European ethnicity, Italian, Irish, and so on and so forth. But at the core still remains, and we're going to look at that in a minute. The focus on race also ignored the ethnicity Anglo-Saxon Puritan core at the foundation of the formation of the United States. What I'm saying here is that when we talk about ethnicity in the United States, we're looking at, there's a core group, there's in the foundation of America, a lot of people sometimes forget this, that it is Anglo-Saxon and it is Puritan. I tell my students when I grade their paper that I had to get used to, having trained in Nigeria, I had to change my grading process from starting from zero. If you all went to school in Nigeria or in England, you start grading from zero. Before you turn the paper over, the student has zero, right? And then you start to give the student grades, and it takes a long time for you to get a 40, which is let my people go. But in the US, you start to grade from 100, because it is thinking that it is perfect. You start to grade from 100, and the student sometimes ends up with 110 over 100, which was very strange to me that people could score 110 out of 100. Say, for example, in an English class, which was, if you got a 60% or 75% was the highest grade you could score in UI, and that was like unfair. And 40 was let my people go. I'm going to I'm going to skip a little bit. Why do I make this digression? I'm making this digression on ethnicity. We are talking about America because this is where we're all here. The Delta Diaspora Direct is part of the American landscape. The Delta Diaspora Direct is part of the ethnic formation. And the way I look at it is that we belong in two places. That's what diaspora is about. We all belong to America as well as Nigeria and so on and so forth. But what we find that we're marginal, I'm going to use a sociological term, we're beginning to realize that we're marginal people, men and women. We're neither here nor there. The other thing that I'm trying to skip this section, the other thing that we have also experienced here in terms of ethnicity is the way ethnicity is used in the US. Some of those ethnic identifications have been shocking to many of us. At the conference, I reminded my African people that we did not look forward. We didn't have foresight. We were all looking at one day after one day. We never looked at, oh, we're going to be here for 10 years or we're going to be here forever, as many of us have ended up being. And that, do we think that some of our children might be invited, you might be invited to a wedding and you find out it's a same-sex marriage. And everybody in the room were like in shock. But we are part of this system, we're part of it, we don't have any control over some of those things. So again, I'm going to go back to my paper. I want to also say that we are not the first diaspora. We're not the first diaspora, we're a second diaspora. The first African diaspora was a temporary one. The people came out here for education and they returned home. And they got home, they were unable to integrate properly. They were disillusioned. I look at this from literature. If you look at novels by Wole Soyinka, Amidu Kane, people who write about this experience, even Achebe's Arrow of God. Eze Ulu sends his son to the white man's school. And the first thing the son did was to turn against his traditions, to begin to question elements of his own tradition. So you want to see how devastating and how changing, life-changing this experience was. So I want to say we're not the first, but the experience is about the same because we're all having the same results. We're neither here nor there. We're part of an ethnic group in America, but we're not quite part of the group. I'm going to move on to my discussion. I have on the overhead what I want to define as ethnic group. An ethnic group as a segment of a larger society whose members are thought by themselves and others to have a common origin and to share important segments of a common culture and who, in addition, participate in shared activities in which the common origin and culture are significant ingredients. And this is a quotation from John Yinga, one of those experts on ethnicity. What is the implication of this? Three things, I have listed three things: language, race, ancestral homelands with its related culture. The members perceive themselves as different. Thirdly, they participate in shared activities built around their real or mythical, imagined or imaginary, common origin and culture. If you do not